And we're back again. And if you were here for our last session, you realized that we can create shape tools, or shapes, excuse me. We can create shapes, and there are different ways that we can do it, and we can manipulate it as we are creating it. One of the things I wanted to talk about was keeping things proportionate. Like, we were creating our square, but a lot of people, including myself, I actually don't create it by holding the shift key down by itself. I hate dragging it out from the registration point or the corner. So what I like to do is I like to hold the Alt key in addition so it grows from the center. That's just how I always grow my squares out or drag them out onto the board, so that they're growing from the point of reference of the center. You'll notice that the smaller you get, it grows to the center. The larger you get, farther away it grows from that center point. But if you let go of the Alt key, it's growing from either your top left or your bottom right point, depending upon the direction you're going, or bottom left and top right. But essentially, it's growing in one of four quadrants. And if you are a lover of math, you know exactly what I mean by that. But that is how you can grow it out, or you can hold the Alt key and do it that way. You can still do that even if you aren't holding the shift key and don't want to keep it proportionate. It will do the same thing, and that works for all of the tools. Okay, it will just grow out from the center point. All right, now that we got that covered, now it's time to get into more intricate shapes. Let's say we wanted to create a circle with a star cut out of it. Let's create a circle. We go over and we get our ellipse tool. We click the shift button. Let's hold the Alt key down. We're going to align this to the middle of the artboard. So if you haven't studied the alignment options, don't worry. There's a course on that, so stay tuned for that. And if you do know how, then just do it. If not, don't worry about it for now. And then we're going to take our star tool. We're going to create a star, and one with 5 points. We're going to hold the shift key, like I told you before, so that way it's aligned straight. Then we're going to let it go. Now, our star and our circle are on top of each other. I just want them aligned. So we're going to highlight, even though you can't see these, let's change this color to black. Now you can see it. We're going to highlight these, and I want this star to take out, or to be taken out of this circle, to be subtracted from it. So what I'm going to do, and if you've taken our Pathfinder course, which you should have, you'll learn that you can take certain parts of other objects away by using shape modes or pathfinders. So what we're going to do, since this shape is on top, we're going to remove it. And we have two ways that we can do this. We can either minus the front object, which then removes it, and you'll know this because the background now shows, or we can exclude overlapping options, which then excludes the two. The only thing is, if you minus the front, remember the rear is the property that it takes on in terms of color. But if you exclude whatever the top object is, or whatever the overlapping object is, whatever is higher on your layers panel, and right now we see we have this black star over the red circle, it will take on the property of that. So let's look at it again. If we were to take off using the minus front, it keeps the red circle because the front is being removed, the properties of the back are maintaining. But if you take over the overlapping shape, it keeps the property color of whatever object is on top. So now you have a black circle with a star removed from it. All right? That's one way. Let's say we wanted to create something like a light bulb. We grab our ellipse tool. Let's say we're going to grab our rounded rectangle tool. And we're just going to drag out what we think around the shape of this light bulb is going to be. Okay? And we know we have the bulb portion, we have the screw-in portion, and then there's a little circle that's at the bottom, which typically is what touches the metal. and allows for the electricity to flow through, right? So this is generally what our light bulb would look like. So let's align these vertically so they have a vertical center around them. Let's drag out a ruler line so we can see. And it would be about here. There we go. And we can then combine these shapes to make them one shape. And the way we would do that is we would either use the Unite option, and we'd click that, and now you see there's just one path as opposed to the original multiple shapes. There's just one path. If you look in your layers panel, you'll notice there were 3 paths and 3 fills, but now there's just one. 3 and now 1. And then you also have your merge option, and if you were to click that, it does the same thing. 3 to 1, 3 to 1. And then you can manipulate it if you want to change some of these points. Let's say we want to drag this down. Let's say we want this point to come out further. Any number of things. And then we can have more of a light bulb look. What we can also do is we can change that fill to a stroke and increase that. And you'll notice that once you combine shapes, you can start to add various aspects to it that are going to detail it more along the lines of what it is that you're looking to express as far as what this object is. So we can, don't mind me, this is just a really, really weak light bulb, but this is just me giving it a quick example of what you can do if you are interested in making something out of this. So you have options of different shapes that you could create. A lot of the times in Illustrator, the best way to create an object is to figure out what the actual shapes are that would comprise this object, or that this object is comprised of. And then you basically want to put those shapes together. Again, don't mind me. I'm just making a really bad light bulb here, but you get what I'm saying. My work doesn't normally look like this, so don't judge me. But you can put them together in a cohesive roundabout shape, and then you can manipulate the points and then combine those shapes to make something. Let's say you were thinking of making a bear. I'm just going to take it. I'm stealing the circle artboard, so don't be mad. Let's say we know a bear's head basically has 3 shapes that we know of. 3 main shapes. Or even Mickey Mouse. There's the head portion, and then there are the ears. So instead of me physically using a tool to draw out the entire Mickey Mouse head, I might just want to, make it out of 3 circles. And that's essentially what I'm doing here. 3 circles. And now I have a Mickey Mouse head. If I wanted, I could maybe do an old Mickey Mouse look and, let's say, make the eyes. And these are all just using shapes. And of course, we could go further into this, but this is just me, fooling around, showing you what a Mickey Mouse could potentially look like if you were just trying to start off using some shapes or something. I could go further into this, but I'm not going to. But it's real simple. Once you get used to how the shapes work, then it makes it easier for you to develop. Let's say we combine those shapes and we just wanted it to be maybe a grayish color on the inside, and we wanted to add a stroke. We could add a stroke and we could make it an outer stroke. Like, you have options that you can choose from. See? Any number of things. So the sky's the limit. But that's how you can use these advanced shape making tools to develop things and create them in a certain way. So make sure that you study up on that. If you need to go back to the other courses, go back to the other courses, figure it out, fool around with it for a little bit, and then use them all together. Start making things. Even if you have to pick an image, and then you recreate it just using shapes in itself, it will help you get a better grasp of how to utilize those shapes. Okay? So I'm probably going to discuss, alignment options, and then, soon text options. So be sure to check out the next couple of tutorials and make sure you stay up on it. And by the end of it, trust me, you'll be way more familiar with Adobe Illustrator and how to develop things in this program. Okay? Look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care.